guys, back in the garage shop again, working on Kenzie. And where we left off in the last video, we put the transmission into some wiring, found out the water pump was bad, the radiator was bad, so we got a new radiator, bunch of parts. Went in and pulled the water pump off. Well, last time I did that, I had a leaky timing cover. And the timing cover in this car was leaking already. So I went and pulled it out, got a new gasket set for it, new front crank seal. I got the new water pump gasket, all that stuff. Got new radiator hoses. While I was in there, I went ahead and plucked the timing chain out. Glad I did because it was in pretty poor condition. And got a new timing chain set for it. Like I said, got all new gaskets. Cleaned up some brackets with the parts washer. And they're going to be ready to go back on here. Got new gaskets for the AC system. So hopefully can, maybe fingers crossed, have air conditioning when we're done. I'm pretty sure it was just because that compressor was taken out and I broke the seals a couple times. So I'm sure that's what was leaking. It might be a condenser. I'm going to clean it out. We'll vac it down and see if it holds vacuum for a while. If it does, we'll put Freon in it, kick her off, and hopefully have air conditioning. Fingers crossed though, guys. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this cover up here and probably go ahead and take it off. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put a timing chain set in there. Yeah, I ruined the oil pan gasket, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make that work as best as possible. Some RTV. Probably gonna run a small bead down here and a big bead on each corner, and hopefully that'll keep the majority of the leaking down. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a timing chain here and try to get this front cover back on hopefully tonight. Might get the water pump on, don't know, we'll see. So yeah, I'll cut you guys back on when we make a little bit of progress. Well, all right, so we've made a little progress today. I'm gonna call it a night though, pick it up on another day. Got the cover on, got the water pump on, harmonic balancers on, pulleys on, sensors on. So yeah, everything up here is back assembled. The timing chain's way tighter, and yeah. So hopefully it won't leak. Fingers crossed that it won't leak. And I've cleaned the surfaces really good and put Teflon tape on the bolts that needed, well, not Teflon tape, but pipe sealant on the 1-through bolt that goes into the water jacket. Now I just need a bolt. I'm gonna find 2 bolts for the power steering pump because there wasn't 2 there. So I'm gonna find those for the brace and bolt them back up. I'm gonna pop the water or temp sensor out and put the new factory sensor back in so the gauge in the dash works, because I'm gonna reroute the aftermarket one to the back of that passenger side cylinder head and bring it up this way. So I'm going to try to make both gauges work, the one on the peller and the one in the dash, so the gauges do something, that they're not just pegged out and look horrible. So yeah, I've got that back together. Like I said, cleaned up the brackets. They look a little nicer than they did. I'll be able to put them back on here shortly. I'm going to clean up the AC compressor a bit, I think. I got to pop the lines off the back and put new O-rings, clean the throttle body yet, put the water pump pulley on, and then basically reassemble it. I've got Trans Am parts piled into this. I need to flush the heater core yet. I got spark plugs and spark plug wires, so I'll probably do that while the front's off the engine. It does make it a little easier to do. At least, well, I may not do the plug wires, but I'll probably get the the driver's side bracket back on and get the coil pack on, then I can route all the wires the way I want to. I got new wires and plugs, some NGK, what are these? UR 5 GPs. I got 8 of them because it's cheaper to buy a set of 8 of them than it is to buy a set of 6, buy 6 individuals. I still got a spare gasket, and apparently it ships with studs for your pulley. I don't really know why I don't need studs, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this over there and just kind of reduce some boxes. This is my favorite part, is when you use the parts and the boxes are empty, and then you just take them over here and stuff them in a pile of boxes. So when the pile of boxes get really full, I can take them and recycle them. So, yeah. Still got the old water pump, still got one bolt that goes for the bracket. But we'll go ahead and put that bracket on, like I said. Try to button things up, reseal some of the air conditioning. Like I said, I got that gasket kit under here. We're gonna need that. Need a throttle body gasket here too. Other 2 gaskets I won't need. I think I have like $40 in gaskets and timing chain. I don't even know if I have that much. Probably like $30, and because the gasket kit was like $3 or $5 for this kit. The timing chain was like $12.50. So yeah. Then this was a couple bucks. This was a couple bucks too, like $5 I think, and like $2.50 or $1.50 or something like that. Cheap. That's all I know. Then we got the plug wires down there. I've got, I think, $600 in parts so far. That's including radiator and all that stuff. So yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't mention, but I do have. I went to U-Pull about a week ago, and they had a 01 SS Camaro that had a LS1 and a 6-speed in it. Unfortunately, somebody already got to the LS1 and the 6-speed and took them out of it. But the cable relay on the ground that had the knuckles, wheel bearings, calipers, and rotors of the bigger brakes. So I'm going to be putting the bigger 98 up V8 brakes on this at some point in time. I replaced the single piston 11-inch rotor and put the dual piston 12-inch rotor on the front. That also, that changes the bracket. This arm is different, so you can run bigger Willwood brakes in the future. So if I do want to upgrade a Willwood later on, big Willwoods, when I do my 18-inch wheels, I can. So yeah, like I said, I want to make this car handle really well, stop really well before it gets a V8. So it's going to be a really, really good handling V6 car, and then it'll be a very, very good handling and peppy V8 car. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. I'm tired. It's been a long day, so we'll crack back on it in a bit. So yeah, I'll probably not end this video because I don't think it's too long. So we'll come back when we work on it some more. Alright, we're back in the shop again. It's been a few days. Been mostly working on the house here lately. But I finally got time in the shop to work on the Camaro. In the last video you guys seen, I put the timing cover, or the timing chain, timing cover, water pump, all that stuff back on. Well, I went ahead and pulled the overflow tank out and washed it out on the inside because it was just as nasty looking as the radiator was. But I also noticed while I did that there was some rust where the battery tray set. You can kind of see a little bit of it still there. But I went ahead, PR15'd it, primed it, and then painted it. This one had used high performance white, gloss white. So it actually matches pretty good. It matches better in camera. The factory color, you can see obviously the paint line, but someday when I V8 swap it, I'm going to sand everything down. Other spots that's got some rust will get addressed, and the whole engine bay will get repainted. Probably in this white, because it seems to work very well. And it matches the car pretty good. I actually took some tests on that, oddly enough, the piece I cut out of my parts washer. And this is the Arctic White duplicolor, the WA3967 white. And that's just the high-performance Rust-Oleum white. Yeah, this is that white, and this is that white. Yeah. So, high-performance white works really, it matches that car better, and obviously the Arctic White. They're both Arctic White, but that's a lighter Arctic White. That's a different paint code Arctic White, but they still call it Arctic White, so they are clearly different colors. This is more of a yellow tinge to it, and this is white. So, anyways, that's drying and hardening, and when that gets good and hardened, I got a little bit on my wiring, but that's going to be no big deal. Once that sets up, hardens good, I'll go ahead and put the overflow tank back in and put my relays and stuff back on there, the bus bar. I went ahead and just pulled all this stuff up and out the way. And yeah, we're just going to put that back in the spot it was, and yeah, we'll just be good to go. I got a little overspray on the K member there, but there's probably enough dirt and grime and stuff on there that's not really going to matter. I don't really care. It just looks far better than rust, and it will keep the rust hopefully encapsulated and won't return for a while. So that was my main goal, because the body and chassis itself is long-term. The engine is semi long-term. We'll be doing suspension and stuff on this car, is what I plan to do first. So I went ahead and got this piece. I didn't have a lower valance on this car. I used to. When I first got the car, I had it, but apparently we ripped that off at some point in time. The owners after me apparently got it ripped off at some point in time. So I had that on the Z28. I went and pulled it off, took it out. I also grabbed the heater pipes off that car. So I have the factory heater pipes. I'm going to go ahead and I will be putting this back on the car and running the heater pipes. So they're just a little better than coming over the top of the engine like the hoses I put in. But yeah, so we'll have heater pipes again. They were out back in here, and I've kind of cleaned that off so it looks a little better. I got to pull the top, or not the top, but the bigger hose out. And I can go ahead, now I got the temp sensor in, I can go ahead and start assembling the power steering. This will probably the engine band stuff, I'm going to clean I'm going to like take it to the pressure washer when I'm driving it and try to get a lot of the rack and stuff cleaned off just a little better, and some of the power steering, or not the power steering, yeah, the power steering stuff and the ABS. I do want to do ABS delete and a line lock on this car. So this whole Goliath mess of crap is going to be taken out. So it won't be an ABS car anymore. Not 100% sure if it worked anyways, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure I've locked this car's front tires up a couple times. So, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and do a line lock and a ABS delete at some point. So that'll be all nice and open over there. I can do a nice clean job over there. I cleaned up a bunch of stuff over here. I started cleaning out the radiator support where the condenser stuff sets back down. I still got a little more cleaning to do there. I just been using purple power and a squirt can and a rag, just cleaning stuff up. The engine's not going to be super pretty or anything like that. It's a 3400. I mean, it doesn't have to be clean to function. So that's, in my opinion, of this engine. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get it back to running condition and put around with it with this motor and build the suspension and everything. So going to go ahead and start pulling the later F-body brakes apart so I can clean them up and get some lines, and we'll be putting them on probably at some point in the future. I'm going to probably run these rotors and stuff too, just because they don't seem to be in horrible shape. So yeah, I think that's enough of an update for right now. This ain't had a lot going, or a lot accomplished on this video. I was hoping to have the car running again, but that didn't happen. So anyways, yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one, and hopefully it'll be back together enough to be running. I got to wash the condenser yet and the fans, get all that stuff cleaned up. I should actually throw that stuff in the truck tonight, and I can do that at work because I'm going to wash the truck tomorrow. So I may do that. So we're going to go ahead and throw that stuff in the truck, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day. What's up, guys? It's been about a week since the beginning of this video was shot, and I've got some time to work on the car a little bit. Before you guys seen, I had it all PR15'd and painted up. Well, now I have my relays and all the wiring back, overflow tanks in, front accessories are on, new plugs, new plug wires are all on there. And yeah, I haven't really been doing any step-to-step process, guys, because I have not had time to do so. with this house project and everything going on. So I was trying to get it done. I did pick up some stuff, I think, to put on the oil pressure sender so I can have both senders down there. I still have to put the drain plugs up in the engine block, put the starter back on. I don't know if I'm going to get to that today. I'd like to. I'd actually like to have it started and running, or at least have the radiator and stuff back in the car again. To do it, I pretty much just got to put the fans back together because I cleaned them up. Got the condenser all cleaned up. I do want to wipe down here a little bit. It's kind of dirty. Put the belt back on, and the tensioner. I've got the tensioner. I got a new pulley for it. I'm gonna go ahead and buzz that off. Put the new pulley on. And I'll put the belt on, and yeah, I'm gonna just crack into it and see where I can get. Well, it's been a few hours, and I kicked some serious butt tonight, and we have a running car. It's not 100% complete yet. I still got to do some stuff to it. I even made a list. Basically, stuff I got to do is oil pressure sender. I got to do temp sender, but I need to get one for my odometer gauge. Air dam needs to be bolted on from the other car. Rad hose holder for the radiator hose because it hangs below the car because it doesn't really have a tie down on the Z28 fan, so I need to build one. I need to tie down the fan wires because the clips are broke, so I need to get I can use some of my push point zip ties and then fill the overflow tank because I didn't do that. But yeah, it's back together. It's looking pretty good. Got to get some Freon to fill the AC and see if it's going to work. It held a vacuum. It did lose a little bit, but I'm a little bit over 2 hours, and I'm kind of chalking that up to be these fittings, and that one of them hoses wasn't completely tight, so I'm gonna go buy some Freon, and hopefully it'll take air, and the air conditioning will work. I got it running, and it's running good, and I have a high idle, like a 1,000 RPM idle. I want to take it out and drive it and see if I have overdrive. If I don't have overdrive, there's a good chance that it needs a TPS because this car has done this to me before. I drove around for years without overdrive and a high idle when it got warm, and it was a TPS problem. I threw a TPS in and it was fine. I don't know if this is the TPS I replaced or this is the TPS off the other motor. I'm going to go with probably they never changed throttle bodies, and odds are this has probably got another TPS, and they let the good TPS go on the other engine. Luckily, they're pretty inexpensive. I'll probably get another one. I went ahead and I haven't taped it up yet, but I spliced in the plug for the EGR and put my EGR cap on. It looks a little better now. I do need to tape it up, make it a little better looking. And just kind of tie everything. I also got to do that with my oil pressure gauge, but I'm going to get everything resituated, and then I'm going to rerun it and make it look nice, and probably put some braided loom I have over there on it. But yeah, we're kind of chucking along with it. I made a hell of a mess with my funnel because it burped real bad and got all over the floor, so hopefully that'll be drying up soon. I doubt it. I need to throw a hog mat down or two. I do need to bring a rasp and deburr the back of the wheels. To get that one off, I had to beat. I do need to get a set of lug nuts because I broke a lug nut off taking it off. It got stuck on the lug nut and busted off, so yay. But the good news is we're putting those hubs and brakes on, so that doesn't really matter. But I do want to get a set of lug nuts so it fits. I did take this tire off and put it on the back and let the car spin, and I semi polished it up. It needs sanded and really just needs a good cleaning first, but these Corvette wheels should clean up pretty good. I do need to get 4 tires for it in a bad way, so I'm gonna try to look up some cheap tires and get a cheap set for it, because these aren't the final set of wheels for this car, but I'm gonna clean them up and run them for a while. Then we're probably gonna start cleaning the brakes up at some point, spindles and everything, and the calipers. I'm gonna get some new lines, and there is a problem with the brakes on this car. I do need to look over the brakes. They work, but they don't work good at all. The back wheel on that side needs taken off and looked at because it's semi stuck or not really semi-stuck, but it's past semi-stuck. It's pretty much fully stuck. It's hard to turn, so something's going wrong in the disc, or not the disc, but the drums. I do have a couple disc brake rear ends for this car, so I may possibly bring the other car here and do a quick rear diff swap, especially if I do a line lock conversion and ABS delete. I can do the ABS delete and then the line lock, and then I can do, it has proportioning valves, so I can set it for the disc brake rear. So yeah, a couple lights don't work here and there. I think one of the fog lights is out. I have a better looking bumper in the garage. It's definitely going to go on it if I'm going to drive it. I did get the rear plate on. The other bumper, I believe, has a front license plate mount, so then I'll probably put the front plate on it then too, being as it has a mount. There's not much else that transpired today other than putting all the accessories back together, putting the drain plugs back in the block, putting the starter in, getting the intake and everything, radiator, fans, condenser, vac the AC system, and they got it running. So I did get a decent amount of stuff done today. So yeah, I'm just happy to hear it run again. Fans do kick on still, so I let it run up temperature. Had a problem when I first started. It had a pretty bad airlock that I had to get out of it, but once the airlock got out of it, it seemed to be running pretty good. I do still think there's probably some air in it. That's likely. And actually I'm hoping, because I don't want to have to pull a lot of antifreeze out, because I want to put a rust inhibitor in this additive into this radiator. What else? I think that's it. Like I said, I got to get a new sender. This has got problems, so I'm going to go ahead and get a new sender. I'm going to go ahead and knock stuff on the ground. Transmission cooler's hooked up. I do need to fix the dipsticks too. I need to add that to the list. I have a couple dipsticks tops. I should just do that now. I might do that off camera here in a bit, so yeah. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to end it now, and I kind of want to do some of the interior and stereo and stuff. I do want to do a little more in-depth videos on what I'm doing and whatnot, but this is a 3.4 liter V6. Probably not a lot of people are wanting to see this content unless you're a diehard F-body fan or just like this car. So anyways guys, it's slowly coming back, so we'll catch you guys in the next one, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.